Do you want to see what I'm building here in the Lego room? I'm going to be putting together a Lord of the Rings artwork piece. And it's going to have Mount Doom and Barad-Dur and little Frodo, Sam, and Gollum silhouettes in it. And I'm super, super excited about it, but it has been a journey getting to this point. Now, why did I pick this? Well, one, it's Lord of the Rings. And two, who doesn't want more Lego artwork hanging on their walls? That was the easy part. The not so easy part was all of the next steps that followed. I was going to have to come up with a design. I thought about doing it on my own. It's just pixel art, right? Yeah, no, that was going to be way too complicated. So I thought of another kind of crazy idea. I would use a counted cross-stitch pattern to work off of. Now, don't worry, we're not going to be using string in this project. I went onto Amazon and ordered a bookmark kit that had all kinds of beautiful pictures from Lord of the Rings. I waited impatiently and they sent me this. This is the worst counted cross-stitch pattern I have ever seen in my life. I don't even think you could call it a pattern. And so I was like, well, what in the world am I supposed to do with this? I almost threw it away. I was so frustrated. But then I was like, you know what? I'll bet you I could try to look at this, decipher it, and figure out what it is. So, some graph paper later, my own color code, and I created the pattern from what I could see in copying that. Easy peasy, right? Not so much. It took hours and hours and hours. But this is where it got fun. Using all of the colors that I knew would come in these adorable little 1x1 round plates, I created a color code and I picked all the colors that's going to be in the project. And I numbered them and I marked them on here. And then I went and counted how many of each color that I needed and came to a lovely, very large number. After all of that math and all of that coloring, I was finally ready to actually hunt for the pieces that I needed to create this project. I would have loved to have used the lovely square bases that they do for all of the Lego mosaic art, but I knew that was going to be costly and I wanted to do this on a budget. I'm not sure the budget is going to end up being a small budget because it still is costing quite a bit to gather all my pieces, but I am trying to do it for as cheap as I possibly can. So I am going to be using a whole bunch of plates to see if I can put together a base that I can put all of the plates on top of. I'm not sure how it's going to look, and in a couple of years from now I'm probably going to hate myself for doing it this way, but at the moment I'm going to experiment with this. So first up, bricks and minifigs. We opened up a store next to us and I am completely in love. I got this lovely bag and it has a lot of the plates and it has a lot of 1x6s, 1x8s, 1x4s in black, whatever I could find because I'm hoping to build up a rim around it. I also pulled as many of the little round plates as I possibly could find in the colors that I thought I was going to use. Now this bag of bricks is dirty and so it's going to take a bath here in a little bit. But it was a lovely find. Then I came into the building room and I dove into the large box of loose pieces that I have been gathering from various places when we buy in bulk. And they've all been washed and cleaned and ready to go. And I just kind of took some. They didn't make it quite into the organization, but shh, nobody has to know that, right? And now we need the actual pieces that are going to make this creation actually happen. And therefore, I needed a whole bunch of little round plates. First stop was my local Lego store and the Pick-a-Brick bucket because I thought I might get lucky. And I did, with red, and only red. But that's okay. I also got some of these, which are, I'm not going to count them, but I think they're 8 or 10 long. And a whole bunch of gold leaves, which are not going in the project, but you know, there's gold leaves. I also picked up another little box. It's like one of the last plastic buckets that they actually had, which, just so you know, the boxes are better. You can fit pieces in better, and I actually like them better, but I don't like change, and I grumbled about it for a good long while when it happened. I found these little 1x2 cheese slopes, which are perfect in red, and I thought, oh my goodness, I had a blast of inspiration and I was like, this is going to be so beautiful along the rim, just kind of encasing it. I was like, okay, this red is just calling my name. So I grabbed a whole bunch of those. Then it was back home and where I did a little bit more rating. Now recently I purchased 4 of the Mosaic Batman art, not to do the Batman, although they're wonderful options there, but I had seen a pattern online for Captain Rex and Ashoka, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I will put the link to this amazing designer down in the description below. Check her out because her work is amazing and she sends very, very nice patterns. And then there was more counting. I wrote down how many of each piece that I had left after doing the Star Wars art, and I'm going to use these beautiful pieces in because otherwise they're just going to be sitting around in a baggie. I thought, you know what, maybe they should get to hang on the wall too. I then went to my chart that tells me how many I need of each color, because amazingly, after all of that, I still actually have more of the little round plates to buy. So I'm already exhausted and I haven't even started putting this thing together, but I think the planning in this instance was probably actually more difficult than the actual project will be. Now you are going to want to hit that subscribe button because as soon as I get to the next step in this project, I am going to be coming back to you and letting you know how things are going, and you are not going to want to miss that. So stay tuned.